Hey y'all, and welcome back to another episode of CitySim Builds. In the previous episode, we did a ton. We expanded Canarsee, which is the city that we're building right here, and we also added in this forestry industry, and we did very well with this. We got this up to a level 5. Like right now, we're making about $6,500 a week in profit. And over here, we have a furniture factory, which is also giving us about $2,400 per week. We also did some things like updating the roads through here. We made our roads in general more bike and pedestrian friendly, which I am a huge fan of. And in today's episode, we're going to be doing something kind of in the similar vein. I'd like to add in transit today. And we're going to be doing this in 2 steps. We're going to be adding a bus system, and then we're going to start the beginnings of a tram network. We're also going to make a few adjustments here and there, and I'm likely going to expand the city over here a little bit as well to get our population up to the next milestone or 2. But before we begin, if you could hit the subscribe button, that would be really, really helpful to me. I'm really trying to grow this channel and reach new people and be more collaborative with folks as I go through these builds. I'm really trying to tailor these builds to what the subscribers want to see, and so your feedback is very crucial to me. And with that said, if you have any feedback, please leave a comment down below. That is super duper helpful. I've gotten a lot of great comments over the past couple weeks, and it's been extremely helpful, not only with this series, but the Two Rivers County series as well. And also, as you're watching the video and you're liking things, please hit the like button. That also really, really helps me out. But with that, let's get into today's episode. All right, so we are doing really, really well. We have over $1 million in the city coffers. We are almost at 10,000 people, and we have a really healthy demand across residential, commercial, and industrial. So I'm really pleased with the way this build is going, and today I want to expand upon things and make our city even better. Canarsee is a growing community, and one of the things that we really do need is transit. And this isn't really from a traffic standpoint, this is more because I want to have a more multimodal city. Because right now we're covered on the roadway side of things with our arterials and our collectors and our local roads. We also have a lot of bike paths and pedestrian paths and sidewalks. So I want to fill in some of the missing pieces here, which is mainly transit at this point. So for transit, I want to start over here, and what I'm going to do is extend this road further down this way because this is one of our principal arterials, and this is really one of the backbones of the city. The other reason I want to come over here and start our transit network is because whenever you place something like a bus depot or a tram depot, they produce a ton of noise, and I would rather that be around our industrial area right now. So what I'm going to do is go in and extend this road, and we'll get those in place. And you can see we are having some terrain issues here, and I did something that I did not mean to do, which is I upgraded this road here. I don't want that to be an arterial, so I'm going to downgrade this like that. Let's go back over here and extend this road a little bit further this way. But once we get to this point, I want to change the nature of this road. And we're going to go with the similar sort of arterial that we have over here. So let's go ahead and extend this so we have this parallel network here. Because we've done a good job with our roadway network in terms of layout, we're meeting up here at a 90-degree angle, and I'm liking that. But before I place that, I want to change our roadway type. And for this, I'm just going to continue on with these 2-lane roads with sidewalks to come over here, like that. It looks good. And we'll add in another one right here. And actually, what we probably can do is add in another one down here somewhere. So what I might do is extend this over to about here, and then do the same thing on this side. And then we'll use our curved road tool and kind of see if we can line these up a little bit better. Now we have like a nice S-curve in there, and it's going to provide much, much more connectivity. And you can already see we have folks taking this right now, and that's going to be really, really useful to us as we expand the city later on. And the reason I wanted to go ahead and add these in is because it's going to be helpful when we place our transit system. It's going to provide more connectivity to this arterial right here. So we're going to have more access throughout the network, the roadway network that we have right now. So let's go and take a look at our transit. So I'm going to start off with bus, and for that you come here to the very first tab within the transit tab. I guess it's more like a sub tab. So there are a couple options. We have the bus depot, we have the biofuel bus depot, and then we have a bus station, and we have a compact bus station. And then last we have an inner city bus station. The bus depot is around $30,000. The biofuel is a little bit more, and I think it has a little bit more upkeep as well. It's at $960 per week. And the bus station here is more for, I think, intercity travel, like connecting to places off the map. So I think I'm going to continue with the theme of being green and go with this one, which is the biofuel bus depot. because we have plenty of money right now, and right now our weekly surplus is still pretty high. So I'm going to continue with this particular asset. I'm going to go in and add a few more roads through here and come back and explain why I did some of the things I did. What I'm trying to do is transition from a industrial area over here back to more like commercial usage and then eventually residential usage. So I'm trying to change the roadway network to reflect that. So I'm going to be placing the bus depot somewhere in here, and then what I'm also going to be doing is placing a tram depot somewhere over in here as well. And here, I'm not happy with the way the road grades are because we have this huge like hump in the road right there. This is called a vertical curve in real life. So I'm going to slope through here and come back and redo this. So we'll back that off, and then we'll go to our terrain. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click on here and then level terrain through here like that. And just try to get something that cuts through here a little bit better. And whenever you're doing this, whenever you're leveling the terrain, you have this soil availability. And this is about, whether you're taking soil away or putting soil back. And it also costs money to do this. As you can see, it costs $12.80 per cell. So this is a good area to get things a little bit more flat, in my opinion. So I'm going to try and smooth things out a little bit through here. And the other thing that you can see is now that we have this area for the most part in place, we have this big mountain sort of looking thing here. And I'm going to go back and soften the terrain later on with the soften terrain tool. But for right now, let's go ahead and get this roadway in place. And I forgot to mention that these are the 4-lane roads that have a bus lane. So it's effectively a 2-lane road with a bus lane on the outside. And I really like that. It's going to really help our bus system be very productive. So now I'm going to soften the terrain through here a little bit. So I'm going to go here, and then I'm going to get a larger brush size and then just kind of come in and feather this out and really bring this height down. Same thing on this side. All right, so let's go ahead and get our bus depot in place. So with the bus depot, I'm going to click on that, and then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to find a good spot for this. So I'm okay with this being by the landfill because the industrial area produces a ton of noise. Let's go and take a look at our noise. See how it's like super duper red right here? This produces a ton of noise and it fits okay in this area. And, eventually we're probably going to have some changes in here, and hopefully we can get rid of the industrial area and have it maybe be relocated to somewhere else, or at least spread across our different industries like the forestry industry. And later on, I'm going to be doing some farms over here and over here. So, but for right now, I think it's going to be fine to place that there. And then the other thing I want to place is a tram depot. So let's go into our transit and click away the public transport tab. And I'm going to go in and find tram and then find the tram depot. And this is a much larger building. The way this kind of loads is like from the side here. So I might come down here and place it. Let's see. I'm going to place it right there. Actually, I'm going to change my mind on that. And the reason is because, again, this produces a lot of noise. And I want to at least have it on this side somewhere. And maybe that's a good spot to have it. Yeah, I think that's a good spot. So let's get water hooked up here and get things going with our transit routes. All right, so for the bus depot, the first thing we're going to go ahead and do is place our bus routes. And to do that, you come over to the bus tab and you go all the way over to the right-hand side and you click on this icon, which is create bus line. You could start here. I think you can also start anywhere else you want to on the map, and that's kind of what I'm going to be going for. So in placing our bus line, there are a couple areas that I know that we're going to want to have service to. We're going to need some sort of like cross-town bus line and maybe another line or two that goes north and south. So we're going to have like this east-west sort of connectivity situation and a north-south connectivity situation. So for the north-south, I'm going to start down here at the bottom, and maybe we'll start by Battery Park, and we'll place it on the right-hand side of the road, and we'll loop around this way. Add a stop there and there. So I'm trying to be about 2 or 3 blocks in between, roughly. Maybe here we'll go, no, we can stay here because it's a higher density area. But then maybe here we'll go a little bit further. And then over here, we'll have a bus stop along the arterial for a second. And then we'll come over here and get a couple stops off the arterial. And these can be a little bit further. And so I'm going to try and have the bus stops be pretty close to each other. And then over here, I want to use our new bus street and connect back over kind of close to the depot. So let's go back to our lines. So let's see if we can bring this down towards the industrial area, and we can have one stop in the industrial area. And then so for here, I want to be close to that existing stop, like that. That's something you see a lot with transit systems, is you'll have a bus stop on one side of the road and then one on the other. So we're going to do the same thing as we come down our main street, like that. We'll find our other bus stop. And then through here, what I might do instead of coming down like this is I'm going to snake through this high residential area, something about like this, and then try and connect up like that. Okay, perfect. I think that looks really, really good. So now I can see some of the buses already starting to take the road, and they're not taking the bus road like how I wanted them to take it, but that's okay. I think this will change as time goes on. So now I want to get another bus route in place. And what I'm thinking for this one is we'll have a route that connects up here, that follows along this collector right here, and then ends up somewhere over here to get some east-west connectivity. So I'll start it here. I think that's a good spot for that. And then we'll place another bus stop close to, let's see, we'll go right there. That way, if people want to transfer, they only have a block and a half or so to actually walk and transfer. And then here, we'll have another stop by the cemetery and Cemetery Point Park. Then up here, we'll have one pretty close to there. Then we'll follow the road up here like that. Then add another one there. And then from here, what we can do is create a loop and then come back. So there I created another bus stop right by the one that's kind of going outbound. And now we're going inbound back towards the beginning of the bus line that we have created. And then here we'll do a similar thing where we kind of loop this back around. Yeah, I'm okay with that. That's fine. That way we only have one left turn as opposed to, let's see, 1, 2, 3 left turns. The more left turns you can eliminate with a bus route, the more efficient it's going to be, especially with a right side drive sort of framework. Because the more right turns you can have, the more efficient traffic is. Like, for example, I think UPS tries to make as little left turns as possible because they know that right turns are more efficient in terms of traffic. We have a lot of buses already coming right here, so you can see that. So let's take a look at our lines overview. So the first line here, we are already doing really, really well. So you can see here on the side, this is the passengers, and then here are our stops. And at the stops, we have tons of people already waiting. So that makes me feel like we really do need these bus routes in place. And we can also name these bus lines different things. So I'm going to call this Route 1, and then we'll call this one Route 2. And right now, Route 1 definitely seems to be the one that has a lot of usage with 35 passengers. Let's go back into our line overview. So here at the stops, you can see we have tons of people waiting, 247. That's pretty insane. So maybe what we'll do is we'll increase the vehicle count here to, I don't know, 14. See if that helps things out a little bit. Let's take a look at our other bus route. This one has definitely less, but it also has some stops that are in high demand. So let's increase this also to maybe 12. And whenever you do this, it's going to affect the city budget, so we'll have to keep an eye on things down here. One of the other things that you can do is change the colors. So let's make this red just to show some differentiation in the lines. So if you come here and look at our actual bus lines, you can see where we have coverage and where we don't have coverage. So what I'm thinking is we might need another bus line that maybe covers this middle area through here. So I'm going to go ahead and create that. And in doing so, I'm trying to look at the roadway system to see like what might make sense. So I'm thinking we can use this road right here to be a really good east-west connector. So I'm going to start the line here, and we'll go up to here. That way there's only about a half a block distance or so to make a transfer right here, but we're going to continue this on straight through here. So let's add a stop there by that pedestrian path. Then we'll come down here and add a stop there. And then here, we're going to come up through this neighborhood like that. Then over here, we're going to have a stop that goes like that. And the reason I want to do that is I want to get close to this line that we can have some good connectivity with this bus stop. And then here, what we can do is loop this back around, kind of like so. Sometimes doing this, it's pretty finicky. The lines want to go in different locations, and it may not be like where you want them to be exactly. So again, here I'm just mirroring the bus stops that I want to have in place with the existing ones on the other side of the road. And then through here, I'm going to extend this through and come down to here. And we're going to get some coverage through here. So we'll have a stop that's right there. And then here, we'll start to loop things back around. And for this, what I'm thinking is I'm going to come to here and then loop this back around like this. Let's see if I can make that connection. Can I go further? Yes, I can. Excellent. Then we'll come back up here and meet up there and complete the line. So we do have some left turns in here, and that's okay. But what I did here was I tried to make this clockwise sort of motion. That way we're doing only right turns and it'll be more efficient. And you're already seeing land values increase, which is another thing. The more transit options you have, generally you will see increases in land value, both in real life and in the game. So let's take a look back at our line overview. So right now we don't have any new passengers on, let's say this is Route 3. And we can make this, let's go for like a green color. Something like that. So let's take a look. Right now you can see passengers are starting to pile up through here, which is what I wanted to see. But here we're not seeing as much right now, but I think this will change later on because right here we're very close to this bus stop right here. So you're going to see a lot of pedestrians making transfers from here to over here. And it's pretty cool how the game creates this like bus carve out area for the buses to park. And I really like that because in the game and in real life, wow, this is a lot of buses here. Hopefully this will kind of spread out as time goes along. But as you can see, like when you have buses that block the road, you get something called a bus blockage factor in real life. We have increased traffic in the roadway network because you're inducing congestion with these bus stops, basically. But bus stops are really awesome, and so we're going to keep these in place and see how this progresses over time. So now let's take a look at our trams. And so with trams, you have to actually upgrade the road because what you're doing is basically placing a streetcar or like a light rail. Well, I guess in this case, it's a light rail that's like in the road and not on a dedicated track. But you can see like what I'm talking about here at the tram depot. You have these tracks in the middle of the road. So we're gonna have to upgrade some of the roads that we just placed. So that way we can have the trams running in the road on the tracks. So for this, I think I'm gonna stick with something kind of simple at first. And what we'll do is use the 2-lane road with tram tracks. And since we're not actually seeing buses take this bus road here, I think I'm gonna repurpose this for the tram. So I'm gonna upgrade this through here. And I accidentally upgraded this section, so we're gonna go back and quickly fix that. And it's good we slope through here because these trams really do need, in real life, very gentle grades. So this is a perfect scenario where you definitely want to change the terrain to be a little bit more realistic. And what I'm thinking with the trams is having something that runs along the main strip here. It comes down and then makes a turn here at our major junction and then follows the road down this way like that. So let's go to our tram roads. And this is going to require us to make some changes here in this area. So let's find a good cross section that fits in nicely with these areas. And I'm leaning towards this 6-lane road with decorative trees and tram tracks. And the reason for this is because I feel like it fits in with the aesthetic here. And we're going to be upgrading the road to kind of change uses here from being a bicycle sort of focused road to being a pedestrian and transit focused road. So let's upgrade this and just see what this looks like. All right, I'm pretty pleased with that. Yeah, I like that. So let's go ahead and add, awesome, we just reached 11,000 people. So with 11,000, we have reached Big City and we get an extra land area that we have unlocked if we want to purchase that. We can build a liberal arts university. We get a few new roads and a few new buildings, like a crematorium, which is going to be huge in improving our death care situation. Then we also get things like a large water tower, a train metro hub, and a few other transit-related buildings. So that's excellent. We also get an infusion of cash, which we honestly don't really need at this point. So what I want to do is go ahead and upgrade some of these roads to be tram roads. And I'll be back in a moment. All right, perfect. Excellent. And it doesn't look like our bus system was affected in any way. Stop, let me grab you. All right, we'll hit play. Yeah, look at that. We have like over 500, easily over 500 people taking transit right now, which is amazing. And we haven't even really started our tram network. I just want to make sure it didn't like accidentally cut off any of the lines, and it looks like it's okay. Perfect. Excellent. And you can see that here we have these nice carve outs for buses. And I'm also very pleased that this 6-lane road did not take up any additional right-of-way and get rid of any of the buildings that we have in place. With transit, you have to provide these sort of turnaround situations. So I'm going to do that up here. I'm going to create a little short block for it to turn around in that we can, develop later on. And then down here, we're going to do another turnaround right here. And for the turnarounds, I think I'm going to come up here and start with this one first. And in an effort to preserve some of the bicycling facilities that we have here that we lost along the main strip here, I'm going to use this road here, which is the 2-lane road with median, tram tracks, and bicycle lanes. I think that'd be a good fit. So I'm going to come up to, let's say, here, and then we'll create this block that comes down like that. And then we'll have to upgrade this section here in a moment, but I'll come back to that. Let's go ahead down here and get this upgraded as well. So I'm going to change this, and that. So now you can see we have this looping sort of situation, which we really need with the tram system. So I think we just have one more area that we need to connect up, or 2 more actually. So let's upgrade this section there, perfect. And then we'll upgrade this here. So now things match up and it's looking really good. So with that in place, I think we can now go ahead and set our tram route. So we're gonna go over here to the right-hand side, hit tram line. So what we'll do is we'll start down here and then have a connection that comes around like that. And then we'll try and have some spots that don't exactly match up with the bus routes. That way we have some differentiation in there. All right, so we're gonna keep on mirroring these stops. Excellent. We have achievement unlocked. Here's a tram. Perfect. So right now we have 719 people per week taking transit, which is amazing. And then tourists, we have 26 per week. That's really cool. I'm gonna speed things up a little bit here so we can see how our tram system is operating. Whoa, and this has a ton of trams. I don't think we need 9 vehicles here. Let's go in and maybe change this a little bit. We'll bring that down to, let's do 4. Because we have this tram system in place now, we can actually probably reduce the number of buses on this route. I'm gonna bring this down to 6 for now, and we'll see how the game operates. Okay, cool, we have a functioning transit system. I'm liking that. So what I wanna do next is add a little bit more development through here. So I'm gonna extend this road and bring it between this rock formation and the industrial area. And first, I think what I'm gonna do is go ahead and place a road that meets up nicely over here, like that. And we'll come down somewhere like that. And then let's use the curve road tool and then see if we can find a guideline, maybe. Yeah, there we go. That's a good connection. And then what I think I'm gonna do is relocate our recycling center, and we'll put that, and let's place that right there for now. And the other thing I wanna do is dezone through here where we have just a little bit of industrial. And the reason for that is I wanna make this a little commercial district right here. So for the commercial district, I do want to provide some level of change in our roadway network, because right now we just have these what are effectively industrial roads, and I want to transition to where we have the bike lane. So I'm actually going to use these bike lanes here and extend that like that. And we have sidewalks, we have a median, and I think that it looks really nice. Perfect. So I'm going to keep on keeping on and add these roads in here. And here you're starting to see we're having some terrain challenges, I would say. And that's fine. I'm perfectly okay with that. And we're just going to have some areas where the terrain doesn't conform that well. And we probably need some water through here. So I'm going to go ahead and extend the water across to here, and then we'll connect up here and then bring this down to get water where we need it to be. All right, I'm going to let this develop through here, and then we're going to come back and take a look at our transit system and see how things are progressing there. All right, excellent. I think that is looking really good. We have pretty much developed everything through here. We do have some spots that have some weird terrain issues, but I think that's okay. It'll be fine for right now. And eventually, I think this is going to become higher density commercial, so should be fine. And higher density commercial, I believe, kind of terraforms or handles these situations better instead of having these parking lots or asphalt areas that just kind of overlap on these cliff faces that is not realistic. So, and you can see here like the parking is terraforming in a kind of weird fashion, but for right now, you know, we're playing vanilla, and I think it's going to be fine with that. And then over here, I'm going to add some more commercial, and we're going to continue on with our 2-lane road with median and bicycle lanes. And I'm going to do some smaller block sizes through here. I think these are roughly 10 by 10. What I'm trying to do basically is create sort of a wall, a commercial wall around our industrial, because over here I'm going to be placing more residential. Then maybe what we can do is see how ugly this looks, and if we connect up there, what does that do? That's not too bad. I mean, in real life, this sort of roadway situation, especially with a bike lane, would not be good, but we're going to roll with it for now. So now we effectively have this sort of commercial strip, or L, I guess, that kind of wraps around the industrial and allows us to develop over here and over here with in a way that's much more beneficial for residential usage. All right, so let's take a look at our tram depot. Our tram now has 168 passengers. Let's look at the line. So right now, there are not too many people along here, but I think that's going to change. And the reason for that is because we're going to be developing through here, and I think this is going to really be like the spine of the community. And with that, it's going to have a lot of ridership increases. At least that's my thinking on it. So I think that's going to do it for today's episode. We've done a lot. We have added a bus system. We have also added a tram system. And with that, we've placed the infrastructure that's needed, which is a tram depot and a bus depot. We're trying to be green with our biofuel bus depot, and I'm really liking that. It's kind of like you have this war here of like industrial pollution and then biofuel trying to be more green. So I think that's pretty funny to me. But eventually, I'm really hoping this whole industrial area is going to go away, because we're going to be adding in other industries like an oil industry, an ore industry, and a lot of farming as well. And before I go, let's take a quick look at our transit system. So with our buses, we're doing really great. The first line that we have, which is like our north-south line, has 150 passengers. And we definitely have a lot of stops here that have a ton of people at them. So this one in particular has a lot, which is kind of shocking to me for the industrial area. But I guess folks, we'll take, transit to get to a factory job, So I guess it's not really that surprising. But elsewhere in the line, we're doing pretty well, except for maybe this spot here. Yeah, and look at all the people that are waiting right here. That's a ton. And with our other bus routes, which are kind of like, this is like the more east-west route, and this is a route that's, I guess, kind of both east-west and north-south a little bit. They're doing really great as well. 267 passengers, 305 passengers. I'm liking it. And just as a reminder, here's the transit system as it is currently. We have the backbone of our transit system, which is going to be our tram network. Then we have these bus routes, which one is primarily focused on the north-south movement, and then these two are focused on providing east-west connectivity to get to the spine of our community. But with that, I think it's going to do it for today's episode. I'm hoping you're enjoying the series so far. If you're not already subscribed, please think about doing so. That would really, really help me out. And also, if you have any comments on the build so far, or if there's something you want to see next in particular with the tutorial, please let me know down below in the comments. And also like the video as well if you're getting any value out of it, and don't feel like leaving a comment. But I'm looking forward to seeing you all back here in the next episode of our tutorial series. And as you can see, Canarsee is definitely growing, and I'm looking forward to see what happens like over here and up here up north. There's a ton of forestry industry potential up here that we might take advantage of. But anyway, I hope you all are doing well, and we'll see you back in the next episode. All right, bye.